Scrappin with Sheri. I wanted to show you one of the newer Creative Memories collections called Sunflower Fields, because when we were on our trip out west, I took lots of pictures of what we found out were prairie sunflowers. And when the Sunflower Fields collection came out, we were actually just leaving a national park where we saw all these sunflowers. So I was excited to get home and order this right away. Now, the Sunflower Fields collection doesn't have all the pieces and parts that all of our collections do, but it has a designer paper pack with 12 sheets of paper. And this is a pretty sunflower with it has tiny white dots on the back, white and yellow stripe with sunflowers. These are really good pre-designed pages with beautiful browns on the back. I've already got some ideas in mind for those four. This orange is really nice and would look great for Halloween, as well as being just in a good neutral fall color. And then there's this sunflower that's got a green, a tealish green on the back. And those are the papers in the collection. Now I'm going to be using these two today, so I'm going to go ahead and leave those out. But I also like the matte pack in it, because the mats have titles on them, which you know I love. And there are titles on front and back. They're not always the same look, but they are the same words, which I think is fun. So that's nice. It gives you a couple of different varieties for your titles. This is really pretty, and you could color that in and add some shading. And then just some beautiful sunflowers. Great journaling boxes. And then the larger mats to mat photos with, or to cut down to make journaling boxes. It's got a full-size sticker pack with the pictures, the words, and then the border strips. And then there was also, and I don't know if this embellishment pack was actually part of it or a freebie, but you got the little sunflower embellishments that are also really cute. So I want to show you a page that is probably one of the easiest pages I ever do. And when I just don't have a lot of creativity going, or I have a lot of pictures, this is kind of a go-to page for me. I have shown it before, but all you need are 2 sheets of paper. And I'm going to stack those to cut. And I'm going for a 6.5 inch right now, which is going to leave me 5.5 on my opposite side. And the reason I'm stacking these is because I want these exactly the same size. So I'm taking this all the way to the edge of my trimmer here to get me at 5.5, which is going to leave me a 6.5 on this side. I hope that makes sense to you. Now, I think I've done this layout before. I've cut it with 7 and 5. I've cut it with 6 and 6. This time, 5.5 by 6.5. And those are the only 2 cuts that we are going to make. Now, I need to pull 2 background sheets. And I'm pulling 2 of these cover sheets from different collections, because this is what we'll build our pages on. And I think I'm going to go with the sunflowers on the outside and the yellows on the inside. Now, if you'll look, because we cut the 2 together, they're going to make a whole new page. And you could do this lots of different ways. You could do this up and down this direction. You could do it sideways this way. You could flip it and put your sunflowers in the center. So lots of different options to do this page. But I've already kind of looked at my pictures, and I think this is the way I want to go. Of course, you know me, as soon as I get it taped down, I may change my mind. Now, I do think this orangey yellow with the sunflower on the back is pretty, but I don't really feel like those go together the way I want them to necessarily. So I'm going with the lighter on this side. Here again, you know, with these double-sided papers, you've got so many options. And I did want something that was pretty busy on the sunflowers, just because I feel like that'll look nice with the pictures that I've got for these 2 pages. Do sunflowers grow where you live? I know in Alabama, this year particularly, we had a pretty short growing season in some places, but I talked to some ladies last week that were saying that they still had sunflowers where they live. So I know some places just have multitudes of sunflowers. We were in South Dakota a couple of years ago, and driving through South Dakota in September, I could not believe the number of sunflower fields we saw, just covered over. All right, so we've got our 2 pages taped, and I want to go back and pull a border just to cover up that seam. And my initial thought was maybe this one. What do you think? Since we're doing all sunflowers, I think I will. And I'm just taking that off. I stick the top to my hand, and then I'm going to put the bottom here and just work my way up. Now this border's kind of got a wave to it, so, you know, it's not going to be exacty top to bottom. Oh, but that looks good. You don't see a lot of it on this side, but I like the way it looks here. Let's do that again on our opposite side. I don't know about y'all, but as I get a little bit older, I find that scrapbooking is harder for me just because I have to take my glasses on and off and on and off. I am never in exactly the right place to see things clearly. It is just such a pain sometimes. Now on this side, I already knew that I wanted to put these pictures. And if you've been watching my other videos about our trip, you know that I went ahead and had them matted in white from the developer just to save me a lot of time in trying to mat my pictures. So my thought was that 3 sideways pictures there would be really nice. I think I'll do a close-up there. I'm not sure which direction this one goes, actually. Looks like it may go that way. We were just driving into Canyonlands, and the sunflowers were just beautiful on the sides of the road, and there were little clumps of them everywhere. I loved it with the mountain in the background, with all the different color variations. Looks like I got a shadow kind of going on some of these. Now here, some are up and down, some are sideways, some I'm not even sure which direction they are supposed to go, but I did get some more close-ups. And I could go several different ways with that. I do like this one, and I may pull that one over here to mat. I like that. And you will notice that the varieties look sort of different in some of the pictures. And in different places where we were, some of them had a lot more yellowy centers, some had a lot more brown centers, but I just thought they were gorgeous. This one had more points, but I think it's because it was kind of wilting, maybe. Some of you who know a lot more about gardening than I do could tell me a lot about these pictures, I'm sure. And look, because I've already got them matted on the white, I'm not going to have to do a lot of extra, which is fun to me. Now, I really would love this one to also go this way, but I can see the horizon line of the mountains behind there. So I think I'm going to pull it down this way. And I think I'm going to have to leave out one just because I want to add a journaling box here, I think. So if we're going to leave out one, probably this one, because I've got a little bit more going on in these pictures. And I may also cut that down. So let's look at it. We've already got all of these ready to stick in just a few minutes. How fun is that? You know I'm about these quick, easy pages that help us get a lot of things done. Let me go ahead and cut this one down just a little bit. And when I'm taking that off, you can see that I'm losing my white. So I'm just going to tape that white back on top and bottom. And that just makes that photo a little bit smaller to be more in line with the photo that I've already got on there. So I'm just going to line this up where I want the white to be. I know y'all are probably looking at this thinking, she is absolutely crazy. Why doesn't she just mat that with paper and be done with it? But anything that saves a little time and a little money is useful to me. So those are matted. We've got all of these ready to go. That I'm going to pop just over the edge a little there. And we've got this full-size one here. Now, some of you, it probably bothers because you feel like your titles always have to be on the left side. And I very well may add one of these blocks, these titles, not blocks, they're not blocks. I may add one of these titles over on that other side. And this beautiful day would be a really nice one to add there. I'm just going to lay that on my table. I even add this love on there just because I really did enjoy this. Sunflower Fields. That's a great one. So I've got several options right there for titles. And let's see what we want to pull for our opposite side. Now, I do want to do just a little bit of journaling because it was a while before we realized that these were called prairie sunflowers. I was excited to find that out because we had seen them in so many different places. And because this sunflower matches those, I'm going to use this journaling block. Now, I don't like the fact here there's extra space at the top because I think this was meant to be the top of it. But because I'm using it over here, I would rather have my sunflower go off. So I think I'm going to cut that down just a little, or I could add a sticker there. And this white block is fading into that white background. So I really feel like we should pull a bigger brown to go with it. Now, just so everything is not lined up straight, I think I'll just overlap that a little. And maybe we'll put a sticker here. So let's tape it down and see what we got. How about it? Now, because these already have that white border on them, I'm just going to put my top one down, kind of get it centered side to side. And then I'm just going to layer my other one right on top of that. And I'm trying to even up my space top to bottom here by scooting this photo up. I'm not losing anything in my picture, but I am taking up the available space. Now, of course, I could have made these a lot smaller because I don't really need all of this, but I wanted this 2-page spread. And if I'm only going to do a 2-page spread of all of these beautiful flowers, I want to use as much of the space as possible to make the page look really pretty. Now here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line this one up. I'm going to add this one over it a little bit. And I'm not really losing anything there, remember. And then when I line this one up along the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to end up with about the same amount of space at the top and bottom of these. And you can see right off the bat how much time that has saved me in matting. Even if you think I'm crazy, it has saved me a lot of time going back and matting each picture individually. Now, if I didn't have these pre-matted, I would probably cut one large mat and put my 3 cropped pictures on the same mat. Same thing here, I would have done that. Now, these flowers are spaced evenly, which gives you a good visual sight line for lining this picture up the same. All right, now I could even take this over a little, and I kind of like that. Maybe slide that under just a touch. That's letting more of my sunflowers show on this side, more of the background sunflowers. And here I'm kind of looking at this flower side to side to help me with my spacing. I'm going to add this mat. And I will journal. This will be the first page of going into Canyonlands that particular day. So I will journal about the drive into Canyonlands and seeing all these flowers. We actually had these prairie sunflowers behind our hotel. There was a little walking path back there as well. So that was kind of neat to see them in different places. Now, I feel like when I add my titles, I want something here, here, and here. I want kind of a triangle to take my eyes across the page. And I think this love would be fantastic there. It's going to cover up where I've got some extra space. So I'm thinking that's going to go there. Just going to lay it gently. I'm thinking this one here because here's where you actually see the fields. I'm thinking beautiful day over here. And you know I've got to pull some thumb squares for this. Now these assorted size foam squares I really like, because you got the option of putting one big one on a sticker, and the sticker is not going to stick in the places you don't want it to. I find that with the assorted size foam squares, I'm probably using less overall, and it's making the job quicker. All right. So I was thinking this one here. Let me go back and see if there's any stickers here I might want to add. Because I'm mainly dealing in the greens, a little bit of browns there. That one's kind of pretty, but this one picks up more of the feel of all of these. So I think I'm going to add that there with that. Let's just use another one of those big foam squares. I'm going to add this right here and then stick that love there. And aside from journaling, which I will do in just a minute, this page is going to be completed. Now, anytime that you just don't have a creative juice flowing, get you 2 pieces of paper that go together, cut them at 5.5 together, because then you're going to have a 5.5 and a 6.5. Weld them together using a background sheet. Stick you a sticker strip or a border maker strip using the border maker system down the middle. And what a quick, easy 2-page spread that is. I hope you like this idea. I hope you'll give it a try. Again, I've told you I've tried it with 6 and 6. I've tried it with 7 and 5. This with the 6.5 and a 5.5 is perfect for those 4x6 pictures. It leaves you just enough room to layer those 4x6s. So, until next time, happy scrapping.